Have you ever wondered how something as simple as what's next to your bed could silently raise your risk of a stroke? You go to bed thinking your space is calm and safe, but you wake up tired, dizzy, or with your heart racing, and you brush it off as just age. But what if I told you the real danger could be hiding just inches from your pillow? Tonight I'm going to reveal 3 common items that many seniors keep near their bed, and how one of them, yes, just one, has been quietly linked to poor sleep, heart strain, and even increased stroke risk in older adults. We'll break it down clearly with real stories and simple tips to make your sleep space safer starting tonight. Before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching this video from, and what time is it where you are right now? Drop a quick comment below. Even a small part of your day matters to me. And if this kind of content helps you, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss any of our future health tips made just for you. A glass of water by the bed might seem like a harmless habit. After all, many older adults in America keep one nearby just in case they wake up thirsty or dry-mouthed in the middle of the night. It feels comforting, reassuring. You're not alone if this has been part of your nightly routine for years. But here's something we don't always think about. That quiet little glass, or especially a plastic bottle, might be doing more harm than good. And I know that sounds strange at first, but let me explain why doctors and scientists across the US are now advising seniors to rethink this habit. We'll take it one step at a time. Picture this. You fill a cup at 9 p.m., place it beside your lamp and forget about it until 2 or 3 in the morning. But during those hours, that water is quietly collecting dust from your bedroom air. If the cup is uncovered, it may also gather microscopic particles, mold spores, bacteria, even fragments from household cleaners in the air. And if the cup is plastic, the problem gets more complicated. According to research from the Cleveland Clinic, plastic bottles, especially the reusable kind we often keep for convenience, can slowly release something called microplastics, tiny invisible particles that can leach into the water you drink. Over time, these particles may build up in the body, and scientists have found they can interfere with brain function and even cardiovascular health. That's especially concerning for older adults whose bodies are already more vulnerable to toxins. Now, let's say you wake up at 2 a.m. and take a sip thinking you're doing something healthy by staying hydrated. But here's what often happens behind the scenes, something most seniors in America don't realize. Your bladder, already more sensitive with age, gets a fresh signal to empty itself fast. And now you're out of bed, moving across the room with sleepy feet and stiff joints, breaking your deep sleep cycle and sending your heart rate up. That quick spike in heart rhythm isn't just uncomfortable. In people over 65, especially those with a history of high blood pressure or atrial fibrillation, this disruption in the middle of the night can increase the risk of heart palpitations and even trigger episodes of arrhythmia. The American Heart Association has documented that poor sleep linked with nighttime urination correlates with a higher stroke risk in older adults. It's not about scaring you, it's about awareness and options. Let's take a moment to breathe here. None of this means you should avoid drinking water or stop keeping yourself safe. The goal isn't to add fear, it's to add a little intention, a little protection to your bedtime routine. Because small changes really do matter, especially in our later years. So here's what doctors are now recommending across the country, from clinics in Arizona to heart centers in Minnesota. If you need water at night, and many people do, keep a small glass bottle or a covered glass carafe by your bed. Glass doesn't leak chemicals, and with a lid it stays clean. Just as important, place it at least 3 feet away from your head while you sleep. That gives your nervous system more quiet, more distance from any subtle disturbance, and creates a healthier sleep zone. In homes across America, from Boston to Bakersfield, older adults are making this one change, and they're waking up clearer, steadier, and more rested. Sometimes the answer isn't in another pill or appointment, it's in the little habits that surround your rest. So tonight, as you get ready for bed, ask yourself, not with judgment, but with curiosity, what's sitting beside your pillow. And could a small shift tonight help protect your brain your heart, your balance. Because here in the US, where independence is cherished and every morning matters, your well-being is worth that tiny adjustment. And if this message resonates with you, even just a little, it's easy to overlook something as small as the glow from a digital clock or a bedside lamp. But for millions of older adults in America, that soft light might be silently stealing away their sleep, and something even more serious. From rural Ohio to downtown Seattle, seniors go to bed with a soft red or blue glow, filling the corner of the room. It feels harmless, maybe even helpful, offering a sense of comfort, a way to check the time, or read a few pages before dozing off. But what if I told you that soft light could be confusing your body in ways that science is only just beginning to understand? See, our bodies follow a natural rhythm called the circadian cycle, a built-in clock that regulates everything from sleep to blood pressure. And this internal rhythm is deeply connected to light, especially the kind that enters your eyes in the hours before and during sleep. When exposed to artificial light at night, especially blue or bright red, LED light, your body's sleep hormones start to misfire. Melatonin production drops, heart rate rises, and your brain gets a signal to stay alert instead of rest. That's not just a sleep issue. According to recent studies published by the American Heart Association, nighttime light exposure can actually interfere with heart rhythm in people over 65. They've linked even low levels of artificial light during sleep with an increased risk of atrial fibrillation and stroke. In fact, the risk grows with age, especially for those already managing high blood pressure or diabetes, two conditions common among American seniors. It's not about fear, it's about knowledge, and making one or two changes that could quietly protect your heart while you sleep. Let me share a real story. Margaret, a 74-year-old widow from Tucson, Arizona, used to fall asleep with a small LED reading lamp on every night. She said it helped her feel safe living alone, and she liked being able to grab her book or check the time without fumbling. But over time, she noticed she was waking up more tired sometimes, with a dull headache or tightness in her chest. She assumed it was just aging or maybe the Arizona heat, but during a routine checkup, her doctor asked a simple question: "Do you sleep in complete darkness?" Surprised, she said no and shared her nighttime routine. That's when the conversation shifted. Her doctor explained that even dim light could interfere with blood pressure regulation during sleep and possibly trigger cardiovascular strain. Margaret was shocked, but she tried something new. She replaced her lamp with a warm amber light set on a motion sensor and moved her digital clock to a shelf across the room. Within a week, she said she was sleeping longer, waking less often, and feeling clearer in the mornings. Her blood pressure improved slightly. But what stood out most to her was the calm she felt waking up to true darkness. A small change, just a shift in lighting, made all the difference. Across the United States, sleep clinics and geriatric health centers are encouraging this kind of adjustment. If you must have light in your room, choose soft amber or orange hues, which are gentler on your brain's sleep pathways. Avoid direct exposure to blue LED light, including from alarm clocks, phones, or TVs left on standby. And try placing lights and screens at least 6 feet away from your head while sleeping. Some seniors in cities like Chicago or Miami use blackout curtains to block out street lights or passing car beams. Others cover digital displays with cloth or unplug bright electronics entirely at night. The point isn't perfection, it's progress. Even one small change in your sleep space can restore your natural rhythm and support your heart. Because in America, where aging often comes with challenges, we don't talk about loneliness. Fear of falling, waking at 3 a.m. with racing thoughts, a safe and healing sleep space is more than comfort. It's protection, and it's a gift you can give yourself tonight. So take a look around your bedroom this evening. Notice the lights, the clocks, the screens, and ask yourself if they're helping or hurting. Then try dimming the glow, softening the space, and giving your body the full darkness it truly needs. Because your rest matters, your rhythm matters, and you deserve a heart that wakes up strong. It may seem harmless, even helpful to keep your phone right next to your bed at night. A lot of older adults across the U.S., from small towns in Missouri to busy suburbs in California, do this every evening without thinking twice. It's your alarm clock, your flashlight, your connection in case someone calls with an emergency. Sometimes you even scroll for a few minutes before bed just to wind down from the day. But that tiny device may be doing more than just buzzing or glowing. It may be silently disturbing your rest and, in some cases, your heart. Many seniors have shared that they sleep with their phones under the pillow on the nightstand or even tucked next to them in bed. It feels like a safety net, but it might be interfering with something your body needs more than any app or alert your natural ability to fall into deep healing sleep. You see, the human brain has its own built-in sleep switch. That switch is controlled by a hormone called melatonin, which tells your body it's time to rest now. But the screens we look at, phones, tablets, even LED clocks, emit something called blue light. Blue light doesn't look dangerous. It feels soft, even relaxing. But to your brain, it sends the opposite message. It tells your mind to stay awake, stay alert, stay ready. According to experts at Harvard Health and the Mayo Clinic, exposure to blue light in the hour before bedtime can cut melatonin levels by more than 50%. And when melatonin drops, your body can't fully transition into deep sleep. The stage that restores memory, relaxes muscles, and balances blood pressure. In older adults, missing out on deep sleep isn't just frustrating. It can raise nighttime blood pressure, increase the risk of arrhythmia, and in some cases, heighten the chance of stroke. That's something many people don't connect to their phone. But let me tell you about Frank. Frank is a 68-year-old retired school bus driver living just outside Columbus, Ohio. He's always been a light sleeper, but lately he found himself waking up 3, even 4 times a night. His blood pressure had crept up over the past year, and he didn't feel rested in the mornings, more like drained and dizzy. His doctor suggested cutting caffeine or trying a new blood pressure pill. But during a routine visit to a sleep clinic, something else came up. The sleep technician asked Frank what his bedroom looked like at night. He casually mentioned the phone next to his bed, used for alarms, news, and the occasional YouTube video before dozing off. The technician nodded and said, "Try moving it out of the room for a week. Just 1 week." Frank thought it sounded silly, but he tried. He left his phone charging in the hallway and used a battery-powered alarm clock instead. By the 3rd night, something changed. He fell asleep faster. He stayed asleep longer. And he woke up feeling clearer. After 2 weeks, his home blood pressure readings dropped by 8 points and stayed there. Frank didn't change his diet. He didn't start medication. He just gave his body a break from the silent signals it was getting all night long. Today, he keeps his phone in the kitchen overnight. And he says the difference in how he feels in the morning is like flipping a switch back to the right position. Across America, more and more older adults are choosing to power down before bedtime, not because of fear, but because of freedom. The freedom to wake up without foggy thoughts. The freedom to trust your body again. And the freedom to rest without invisible noise. So tonight, before you crawl into bed, take one small step. Ask yourself, does my phone really need to be this close? Could I trade that glow for deeper sleep and a calmer heart? Because in this stage of life, rest isn't a luxury. It's your body's greatest tool for healing, balance, and strength. And in a country where we carry so much stress on our shoulders, especially after 65, it's one tool we can't afford to silence, unless we turn off the light. Sometimes it's the smallest changes that make the biggest difference, especially when it comes to how well you sleep after the age of 60. In homes across America, from the quiet porches of Vermont to the warm evenings of Southern California, seniors are rediscovering how to sleep soundly again. And often it doesn't require a new medication or a complicated routine or expensive gadgets. It starts with the space around you, the room where your body and brain are meant to rest, repair, and restore. Let's begin with something most people don't realize. The modern bedroom is filled with quiet distractions, phones charging next to pillows, Digital clocks glowing softly in red or blue, TV remotes blinking in the corner, even Wi-Fi routers tucked near the nightstand. Each of these devices emits a subtle but persistent stream of electromagnetic waves, also known as EMFs. Though invisible, they can interfere with your brain's natural sleep rhythms, especially in older adults whose bodies are more sensitive to change. According to experts from the Environmental Health Trust, minimizing EMF exposure within 6 feet of your head during sleep can lead to deeper rest. It's not about fear, it's about creating a space where your nervous system can fully relax. That's what we call a clean sleep zone, free from flashing lights and digital buzz. In fact, many sleep clinics in the US now recommend removing all electronic devices from your sleeping area. No phones, no tablets, no glowing alarm clocks on the nightstand. If that sounds like a lot, don't worry. There are simple swaps that keep you safe and still comfortable. Try replacing your digital clock with an old-fashioned wind-up alarm clock, the kind you may have used decades ago. They don't glow. They don't buzz. They simply do the job quietly and faithfully. If you like to keep a light handy, choose a mini flashlight with no LED light or one with a warm amber glow. Some people use low-tech motion sensor nightlights that only turn on when needed. And if you enjoy clean air, consider a filter-based air purifier with the light settings turned off completely. These simple changes add up. They tell your brain this is a space for rest, not for alerts, noise, or urgency. But beyond the devices, let's talk about what happens before your head ever touches the pillow. Because what you do in the 60 minutes before bed can decide how the next 7 hours feel. Many Americans, especially after retirement, fall into the habit of watching TV, scrolling phones, or reading on tablets late into the night. The problem isn't the entertainment, it's the blue light from screens that tells your brain to stay awake. Doctors from Stanford Sleep Medicine recommend shutting off screens at least 60 minutes before bedtime. Instead, use that time to soothe the body and mind. Try gently rubbing your feet with warm lotion or placing a heated rice pack over your lower back. Many older adults now wind down with audiobooks or nature sounds, helping them transition into sleep naturally. Some even find that slow breathing or simple prayer routines calm their thoughts more than any pill. And then there's the quiet ritual of a warm drink. In towns across Iowa or North Carolina, older adults still end their day with a small mug of warm milk. No sugar, no flavoring, just comfort. If dairy doesn't suit you, try a caffeine-free herbal tea such as chamomile lavender or rooibos. Avoid green tea, black tea, or even decaf coffee after 2 p.m. They still contain caffeine that lingers in the bloodstream. The key is warmth without stimulation, something that tells the stomach and the heart, we're safe now, we can rest. But what about the room itself? The temperature of your sleeping environment plays a bigger role than most people realize. According to Mayo Clinic, the ideal room temperature for sleep is between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Why? Because your body temperature naturally drops when it prepares to sleep, and a cooler room supports that rhythm. If the room is too warm, your heart rate stays slightly elevated and your brain can't enter the deeper phases of rest. Many seniors in warmer states like Texas or Florida now use programmable thermostats to cool their rooms by 9 p.m. And they often report fewer night sweats, more refreshing mornings, and less tossing and turning. Just as important as cool air is darkness, complete gentle darkness. That's why many experts suggest blackout curtains or even simple sleep masks. If you live near street lights or busy intersections, shielding your eyes from light pollution can help your brain release melatonin more naturally. It's one of the simplest things you can do, and it costs almost nothing. Lastly, try syncing your bedtime with your body's natural rhythm. Even after retirement, many Americans stay up far past the time their body actually wants to rest. Instead of forcing yourself into a rigid schedule, try noticing when you naturally feel drowsy each night. Is it 9, 15, 10, 0Z? Listen to that signal. When you follow it consistently, even on weekends, your body rewards you with deeper sleep, steadier blood pressure, and better morning focus. Dr. Rachel Salas from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine calls it sleep rhythm hygiene. She says the most important thing isn't how long you sleep, it's how well your sleep lines up with your internal clock. And for seniors, that alignment is often the missing piece that no medication can replace. So tonight, wherever you are in America, whether it's a quiet farm in Kansas or a city apartment in Chicago, take a moment to look around your bedroom. Is your space working with you or against you? You don't need perfection, just a little more peace. And when your room, your breath, and your body finally move in the same direction, you just might find yourself sleeping like it's 1975 again. Sometimes it's not the big things that disrupt our health. It's the small habits we overlook, the quiet ones that settle in beside us night after night. A glowing phone, a plastic water bottle, a digital clock humming softly in the dark. These aren't just background details, they shape how your heart rests, how your brain heals, and how your body resets overnight. Doctors across America from Boston to Boise have seen the connection. Even one light source, one late-night sip, one buzzing device near your pillow can quietly raise nighttime blood pressure, interrupt deep sleep, and for some increase the risk of heart rhythm changes or stroke. It sounds surprising, but the science is clear. What's next to your bed matters more than you think. But here's the good news, your body's always listening, and it responds when you show it care. Even a single change, like moving your phone across the room or switching to a softer nightlight, can lead to gentler mornings, steadier energy, and clearer thinking throughout the day. Because your body, even at 70 or 80, still wants to work with you. It just needs the right signals. So tonight, take one small action, just one. Maybe you swap out your LED clock, or move that water glass to a shelf a few feet away. Maybe you choose to sleep in full darkness for the first time in years. Whatever it is, your body will feel it. And tomorrow morning, you just might wake up and say, that felt better. Now, if this message made you think even a little, I'd love for you to share it with someone else over 60. A friend, a neighbor, a brother or sister. Because sometimes all it takes is a quiet tip from someone who cares. And if you're planning to change just one thing tonight, type better sleep in the comments below. I'll be reading, I promise. Take care of yourself because no one else sleeps in your body but you. And you deserve peace in every corner of your room, especially the one closest to your heart.